The topic I'm going to talk about is atomic bonding. So we are going to explain the definition of atomic bonding and the different type of the bonding. For relationship in humans, if you found the right person, these relationships allow you to relax. Distance is important in a relationship, of course. Too much distance makes it hard to stay focused on each other and requires a lot of effort to keep things together. And too little distance can be problem as well. Everyone needs their space, and when you don't have any, you end up pushing away whatever crowding you. In this way, atoms a lot like us, and we call their relationship bonds. So what exactly the definition of chemical bonding? So chemical bonding is the physical process that's responsible for the interactions between atoms and molecules. Bonds vary widely. Each kind of atomic relationship requires a different type of energy, but they all do best when they settle into the lowest stress situation possible. There are two types of the atomic bonding, the primary and the secondary. And the difference between them are the primary bonds are formed when the bonding process involves a transfer or sharing of electrons, while the secondary bonds are formed from the subtle attraction forces between positive and negative charges. But the main difference is that the primary is much stronger than the secondary. And the primary have three main types: ionic, covalent, and metallic, and we'll be talking about the difference between them in the next slides. So the first type of primary bonds are the ionic. And the ionic bonding is the complete transfer of valence electrons between atoms. So it's a type of chemical bond that generates two oppositely charged ions in ionic bonds. The metal loses electrons to become a positively charged cation, whereas the nonmetal accepts those electrons to become a negatively charged anion. So we have an example here between the sodium and chloride. So the sodium loses one electron and give it to chloride to become more stable. The second type of primary bond is a covalent bond. A covalent bond, also called molecular bond, is a chemical bond that involves the sharing of electron pairs between atoms. These electron pairs are known as shared pairs or bonding pairs, and the stable balance of attractive and repulsive forces between atoms when they share electrons. So we have an example here, which is the water molecule H2O, where the hydrogen sharing one electron with the oxygen to make the oxygen outer shell uh, have 8 electrons. And the last primary bond is the metallic. And the metallic bonding is a type of chemical bonding that rises from electrostatic attractive force between conduction electrons in the form of an electron and positively charged metal ions. It may be described as the sharing of free electrons among a structure of positively charged ions. As we can see in the picture here, there's positively charged ions for the silver, and there's a sea of electrons around it, or it can be referred to as a cloud of electrons. The second main type of atomic bonding is the secondary bonds, or as known as van der Waals. These bonds are very weak in comparison to primary bonds. They are formed in most materials, but their effects often overseen due to the strength of primary bonds. These bonds are not formed due to sharing or donating of electrons like the primary bonds. Rather, these bonds occur usually when uneven charge distribution occurs, creating a dipole. Just like how we can see in the picture, there is a positive and negative dipole attracting to each other. So we have talked about the definition of the atomic bonding and the two main types of atomic bonding, which is the primary bonding and the secondary bonding. And also we have talked about the three main type of the primary bonding. That's the end of the video. Thank you very much for listening.